Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. So glad to see you here. Hello there, Khalid. Already left me a message. How to heal from an ex. Love the pain is so strong, and it's been 9 months since the breakup. Khalid, I can absolutely help you with that. Get with me, contact me, check out my website, and get my contact information from there and get a hold of me, whether you feel more comfortable emailing, phoning, whatever, doesn't matter. But yes, I can absolutely help with that. And my website is amista.info, I-N-F-O, and it is down in the description below this video. So, what a way to start the video. Guys, what we have going on today is messages for Friday, November the 10th. So Friday, November the 10th, and after that we'll do about 5 minutes of Reiki, and then after that we will answer questions. Lamille, I heard your email, I read your email, I heard your email, I read your email. I plan on responding to you today. That's the plan. That is the plan. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put your name on my list of to-do stuff right now, so I remember to respond to you today. Okay, let's get started with the messages, everybody. By the way, glad to see you here this morning. Okay. Aries. Aries for Friday, November the 10th. What do I have coming in for you guys? La da 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 da. Don't be so excited, let me know. I put my pants on just like everybody else, one leg at a time. Let's see. I have people that call me sometimes and they act like they're talking to Cher or something, and it's like, it's just me. I'm just the girl next door that happens to be psychic. All right, so Aries, let me focus for a minute on Friday for Aries. What do we have going on? I think you're having a very fruitful and productive Friday. I'm seeing a lot of green for you, Aries, and green to me is like green grass, green plants. To me, that talks about being productive, being fruitful, green money in the U.S. anyway. So I think you're going to have a day that you feel really good about the things that you accomplish on Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Dee Dee. Glad to see you. KM, hello, hello, hello. Glad to see you in the room. How are you? So that was Aries. Let's look at Taurus for Friday, November. Taurus. Friday, November the 10th. What do we have coming up for you guys? Taurus, I'm seeing green for you guys again, but it's meaning something completely different this time. This is the way the mind of a psychic works, guys. So sorry. Uh, what I'm seeing for you guys is there's healing going on with that heart chakra for you all. So there's some kind of emotional healing, maybe something from the past that was traumatic, or maybe something that's more recent, where you're just getting on the same page with somebody that you've had some kind of difficulty with, that it was really hard for you to cope with emotionally. So some kind of emotional healing or healing in the heart chakra coming in for you, Aries. Also, I do need to mention too, healing in the heart chakra area doesn't have to be necessarily emotional healing. It could be that if you have had some kind of heart or lung issues or something going on in that heart chakra area, this could be that you're doing something that brings in some healing in that area. This can be anything from diet to actual surgery or therapy, all kinds of things. But either way, healing coming in the heart chakra for you guys. Why is my phone making noise at me? Okay, it's not making noise. It's doing stuff over here. I need to flip this over. No, because I have to see the timer. All right, never mind. Let's focus. Aw, thank you, Dee Dee. I like starting the day this way myself, actually. I've sort of made it my routine, try to get up, get a shower, get breakfast, get on YouTube. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, so Gemini, 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 Gemini. There's a gem in the eye. Gemini, I really think that you guys are going to have some expansion, some development, some growth in that third eye today. You may have a message come through to you that you weren't expecting that is an absolute treasure to you. It's something important that you can hang on to that can help you move forward in a very good way. So I'm seeing for most of you Geminis, growth and expansion. Please, of course, remember these are general messages. Not everything will apply to everyone. But a gem in the eye, you guys have a good message coming in through your third eye on Friday. Alrighty. That's right. Geminis are gems. Every sign, actually. Oh my gosh. I have not met a bad person. I have not met a bad person. How wild is that? All the signs are gems. La da da. They're just different colors. Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. What is that I'm seeing for you guys? Okay, so I get it. So first I heard floating on cloud nine, and then I kind of saw somebody like, I don't know if you guys remember the old, what am I thinking of? Clotheslines. The T clotheslines, the metal that comes up, and then they have the crossbar that comes out, or at least the ones we had in our backyard was metal. I've seen some wooden ones around too. So I see you like on cloud nine, and then I see you like almost like you're doing like a pull up onto the bar on the clothesline, like and it's like, okay, so you guys are on cloud nine, and you're hanging in there on cloud nine, which is kind of an odd thing to say when you think of it, but it's a layer, it's complicated. So for Cancers, what I'm seeing for you guys Friday is that you have managed to get yourself into a perspective where you're seeing a whole lot of good going on in your life and around you and to you and through you and all of this stuff. But there's probably some other things going on too that maybe aren't really cloud nine type material. All right. And so you guys are really focusing on, you know what? I'm on cloud nine. I'm enjoying it up here. And so now we're doing the pull-ups. We're staying on cloud nine, Cancer. Like so determined. Nothing is going to pull me off of this cloud of happiness. This is where I am. This is where I'm staying. Good for you, Cancers. You've met some bad Geminis, little ODD. I don't know. I just don't believe in bad people. I believe in people who are in bad spaces. But just about everybody I've met pretty much will, once you get to know them, they're doing the best that they know how with the tools that they have at hand. There's Ms. Marcia Knowles. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. I just kind of got this picture of everybody just sitting around having coffee around the computer while I've got my tea. We're having our little tea and coffee time now. Of course, for some of you, it's much later than it is for me. For me, it's almost 9. For a lot of you, it's almost 11 or later. Okay, let's look at Leo, Friday, November the 10th. Leos for Friday. Leos, I think you're going to be doing some heavy-duty praying on Friday. The words that I heard are heaven help you, heaven help you, heaven help you. So I'm laughing because that means heaven is helping you. Obviously, they're aware. They're aware of whatever it is you're going to be praying for before you're praying for it. But there is going to be something that you're praying for quite sincerely and quite heavily on Friday, Leos. For some of you, this has to do with career. For some of you, this has to do with medical stuff for people around you. For some of you, this has to do with a goal that you want to reach. And you're so close, but I feel like for a few of you, there's an obstacle that comes up and you're just like, oh, this could shut me down if I don't have some help from spirit here. So a lot of different things going on. I don't want to make this sound more dire than it is, but I do hear that there's fervent prayers going out from you guys on Friday, November the 10th. Okay, and so this is for Leos. And you guys might think this is a little crazy, but we've got like 7 other people in the room. So I'm going to ask all of us to go ahead and send out a little prayer for all the Leos around for whatever would benefit them the most for Friday. Just real quickly. All right. Virgos. Lemuel. Coffee and couch lounging. Haha. And Lemuel. So Dee Dee, I got your coffee. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, cool. Yay. Virgos, Friday. I see you guys digging like this spiral type of hole in the ground. And I feel like what you're doing is you're really trying to get grounded. You're trying to feel very secure in your space, whatever your space may be. And so for some of you, actually, you're doing some research, getting educated on something that you're just finding out about. You want to make sure that you understand whatever this is that you're dealing with. For others of you, this is just strictly getting grounded, like we think of in the spiritual world, where your roots are going down from your body down into the center of the earth. For others of you, what else could this be? This is really setting in a good foundation. So getting strength, getting stability. You're working on building your strength and building your stability and making that possible. With you digging this spiral type hole to do that, that tells me that this is a process, that this is something that will be ongoing for a while for you Virgos. Libra, 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 Libra. What do I feel for Libra, Libra? Libras, I think you're having a little bit of a wake-up call on Friday. What I'm hearing is all that glitters is not gold. Sometimes we come across these things that we think are wonderful and good and gold in our lives, something that can be very deceptive, like a rock like this. This is actually called pyrite, commonly known as fool's gold. Fool's gold. So, Libras, all that glitters is not gold. I think you're having a wake-up call. Something that you thought was really wonderful and happiness making in your life, you're finding out that it's a little bit more hollow than what you thought it was. It's a little more superficial and surfacey. And so you're realizing this. And I think, these things are a good thing to realize sooner rather than later. So I feel for you, though, because I do feel like you guys, this is a disappointment to you. I think you guys really thought you had like the nugget, the gold nugget. And this you're going to be kind of questioning that on Friday, Libras. Scorpio. Howdy-ho, 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 Scorpio. Scorpio on Friday, I feel like we are keeping it simple. We are keeping it simple. We're not trying to do anything too complicated. We're not trying to make big, elaborate plans. We are just trying to keep things simple. I'm actually getting a picture of Heidi from that old children's story, Heidi, and sitting there with, I think it was her uncle that she lived with as a little girl, having cheese and bread for supper because they had goats, so they had cheese. So I'm just seeing this very simple meal, this very simple living, this very simple life. So Scorpio, I think we're going to be doing some things to simplify on Friday. For some of us, that means we're going to be getting rid of extra stuff in our life we don't need. What I'm really seeing right now and sensing is really physical stuff, like taking things to Goodwill and donating them or giving them to the neighbors or whatever. For others of us, though, this may be getting rid of some projects or some interactions that we don't really feel like are necessary in our lives anymore. Maybe we've belonged to an organization for a while and it really fit a need in our lives at one point, and now it doesn't really fit a need and we don't have that much to contribute to it anymore, and it's just It's just a time taker. So, we're going to be simplifying on Friday. Keeping things simple is going to be the name of the game for us, whether it's simplifying the diet, getting rid of extra stuff in the house, getting rid of extra stuff out of our schedules, possibly even, I was kind of avoiding saying this, I did not want to, but we may be getting rid of people who make our lives complicated too, not getting rid of like knocking off, but cutting them out of the schedule. You know how us Scorpios do that. See you later, bye. There goes the wall. All right, Sagittarius. Let's look at you guys. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. I see you guys dancing quickly. Makes me think of an old Western where I don't know which one it was. My dad used to watch a lot of them, and so I would see them. But they would say, one of the cowboys who would have his gun would say, dance, and he would start shooting at somebody's feet. So I don't think anybody's actually shooting at your feet, but I do think you're dancing quickly because you're trying to get things taken care of and covered so that they don't become emergency situations, Sagittarius. So you may be putting out a lot of fires. You'll be dancing fast, Sagittarius, on Friday, November the 10th. Good morning, Daniel. Glad to see you here, honey. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. There's always a reason when you're drawn to somebody. There's always a reason. That's a good thing. It means you're in tune to your intuition. Sometimes we don't even know what that reason is. We just know we are stuck like glue. Capricorn. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. What's going on with Capricorn? Capricorn, I have a feeling that you're just kind of floating through your day. Relaxed, very chill, taking things very easy. Some of you, I feel like you're on some kind of medicine that's helping you float through your day. Some of you actually may be on pain medication. You may be recovering from a surgery or something like that. I don't know exactly why, but I do feel like some of you, this floating is kind of like, it's not exactly what you would choose, but it is what it is, and it's not that bad while it's here, type of thing, For others of you, though, I don't think there's any kind of medication, any kind of medication involved. I think that, you're just chilling. You're not getting stressed about anything today. You're just in a very relaxed place. That's a weird nickname since a kid. Well, I'm glad I said it right. Now I'm sitting here going, how did I say that name? How did I say that name? Okay, so Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys are so creative that I always end up singing your name. I don't sing everybody's name all the time. Let's see. Aquarius, on Friday, I do feel like you're doing something that is creative, and I feel like you're doing something, this is going to sound strange, what doesn't, that has a lot of contrast to it. Okay, so that might mean that you're doing like two completely different projects on Friday, or it might mean that whatever you're doing has, I don't know, literally a lot of contrast in it. Now, I have another meaning for the word of contrast. This could also mean that it's kind of a rough day. For me, I think of contrast like, one of the ways I think of contrast is in the way that Abraham Hicks uses the word contrast is, this can be kind of a rougher time frame where you realize, this is really not what I want. What I want is da 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 da. So it's contrast. It contrasts with what you actually really would like. So you may have a lot of that kind of contrast going on Friday too. That's not a bad thing because it helps you to launch towards what it is that you actually want, although it's usually not so comfortable. But I feel like there is a little bit of that kind of contrast, but also for those of you that are working on creative projects, I think you're going to be using a lot of contrast in those to sort of catch people's eye and make whatever you're doing stand out. Okay. Pisces. Did I say Dano? Okay. Cool. Hello there, Christine Allen. Glad to see you in the room, my dear. Pisces. We are on to Pisces. What do I see for Pisces for Friday, November the 10th? You guys are so happy and cheerful. I'm just glad you're all here. Thank you. Pisces, November the 10th. Similar to Scorpio, where Scorpio is simplifying, you're stripping down unnecessary things. So where Scorpio is simplifying things, I think the effect will be that things will be simplified, absolutely. But I think you have a different perspective and a different attitude about it Friday. I think you are stripping down anything that's unnecessary and just pulling it straight on out of your life. Gotta go. Out. Taking it straight out to the dumpster. And I think that you are, I feel like as you're stripping down, there's a little bit of that fed up feel that's coming to me through you guys. That, you're stripping down the things that you're fed up with. You're just like, okay, you know what? I've been tolerating this for about 4 years and I'm done. And so it's going out. Okay. So that's what we've got for you, Pisces. Yay, yay, yay. You're Aqua. Cut down a tree with your girlfriend and then make a coat rack with her for her boyfriend for Christmas. How cool is that? What a neat idea. I bet you nobody else is getting a personally chopped tree coat rack for Christmas except for her boyfriend. How cool. One of a kind and functional. Okay, so let's do 5 minutes of Reiki now, guys. How am I doing on time? We're good. Okay, so let's do 5 minutes of Reiki. I'm going to set the intention for whatever will benefit you guys the most. If you would like to adjust the intention to something more specific, please feel free. And if you're not watching right now and you're just catching this later on, you can still receive the Reiki just as well as the people who are here right now. So let me get that started. Okay, so 5 minutes, that'll be, okay. It should be a really neat gift. Oh, your Pisces moon fit too. You guys are going to be stripping bark off of a tree. And it's really funny because how I got that stripping down was looking out my window. I was looking at this tree that has like no leaves on it, and I was just kind of seeing it being stripped of bark. It's not being stripped of bark, but that was the vision. You guys are pulling a lot of energy, whether it's you guys that are here now or whether it's people later. You guys are pulling a lot of Reiki out of me. That's a good thing. That means I'm being helpful. This is a super, super, super short Reiki session, guys. Like if you really want to have a Reiki session that will blow you away, you should get one of my sessions that I do for an hour where it's just focused on you. It's not for everybody out there, and we can focus on whatever your particular intention is. It's kind of amazing how big of a difference Reiki can make. But even the 5 minutes, I think even with 5 minutes, you guys will notice a difference in something in your life. Am I tired after I do this little half-hour thing? No. I did a 2-hour reading yesterday morning right after I got off of here. And I didn't feel so much tired after that, but like at 5 o'clock, 5:30 at night, I was like looking at the clock going, it isn't bedtime? When you really get tired is when you go to a psychic fair and you work a psychic fair and you're doing that all day, just reading after reading after reading. those things, you have a certain amount of high that stays with you when you're doing those readings because spirit is just flowing through you. And then it lasts about 20 minutes after you're done. So you have 20 minutes to pack up your table, your signage, your tools, get it all out to the car in the parking lot, and get your butt home before you just really want to fall asleep at the wheel. And then when you get home from those things, at least this is my experience. I don't know if everybody has the same experience. But then when I get home, it's like, okay, what's more important, food or bed? And usually it's bed. Like I'll grab like 2 pretzels out of the cupboard and then I'll just crash. That is exhausting when you work those fairs. But it doesn't hit you till you're done because you've got spirit energy running through you as long as you're doing the readings, kind of propping you up. I'm in Colorado. No, I don't do food in bed. That's not my thing. I don't like the crumbs. Food never in bed. I'm anal about that. Now, my kitchen is not the cleanest kitchen. Housekeeping is not my top priority, but I do not like laying in bed and feeling food crumbs. Ugh, no. One more minute of Reiki, guys. If you guys are feeling Reiki in any particular place and you're wondering what that might mean for you, if you want to let me know, I can help you sort of see what that might mean for you. Not everybody feels Reiki when it comes out to them, so if you're not feeling anything, don't worry about it. Some people do have an emotional response to Reiki rather than a physical response, so if that's going on, that's normal too, so don't worry about that either. When you're doing Reiki, you can feel a lot of things. When you're receiving Reiki, there's not really a normal. For some people, they get so relaxed that they fall asleep during a treatment session. For other people, they get energized like right during the session. They can't wait till the session's over to go clean their house or whatever it is that they want to do. But there's not really a normal for anybody. Oh yeah, there are some great trails out here, little ODD. Fantastic. I don't like trails where there's a lot of sunlight because I do a lot of my hiking whenever it's warmer out. So, like a place where you can find some good trails, if you want to write this down, in my area in Jefferson County, you can find some good trails at Golden Gate State Park, and you can find some good trails at White Ranch Open Space. There is Mount Falcon Open Space, but a lot of those trails are way sunny. But at Mount Falcon, there's 2 trails that are worth seeing. There's one that's called Walker's Dream. That is fantastic views on the way, and once you get to the end of it, the destination is cool. And then there's another trail called Castle Trail. You actually go down Castle Trail before you get to Walker's Dream, and that's really cool, especially if you're into historic stuff, because there's ruins there of an old home, and you understand a little bit more about how that park came to be and blah, blah, blah. So those, like if you're coming to Colorado, I would recommend those places for around here. Also, there's some good trails at O'Fallon Park over by Kittredge. I'm not sure if that's Jefferson County or not. There's some trails I'd love to go over there, and that's really in the woods. You know, take your walking stick. The trails are, I mean, the trails are only one-person trails there, and you definitely know you're out in nature. My pendulum is not always accurate either. Pendulums are tricky. Pendulums are tricky too because if you think a question towards it and then you start thinking about something else before you get the answer, it will answer the something else instead of the intended question because they are extremely sensitive. It's the rainy season in Washington till June. Wow. Good advice there, Dee Dee. Thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Tammy. WA is Washington. I don't know. Who talks about it? I haven't heard about the 1111 portal. By the way, I just finished Reiki, for those of you who aren't used to how I finish Reiki. It's actually Spokane. You're quite welcome, little ODD. Also, if you guys want to check out someplace that's haunted while you're in Colorado, which if you're here, maybe you're kind of into that stuff, I would highly recommend doing a tour at the Stanley Hotel. They're a little expensive for tours. I think they're like 28 bucks a pop, but I went on the ghost tour. I'm kind of a history buff, but I went on the ghost tour and there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of ghosts over there. This is the same place where they filmed The Shining, but in reality, it is actually haunted. And so it's a really cool tour. It's not anything that's going to scare you, but it's a lot of fun. It's supposed to happen on Saturday. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, so I have no opinion. I have no opinion. Hey, Victoria, glad to have you here, honey. So guys, I've like totally gone over Reiki time and I've actually totally gone over talking time. So I think I'm going to stay here for 2 more minutes. Any more questions for me, guys? We were actually doing questions during Reiki, but if you guys have other questions before I go, then we can do that. I don't want to leave out question time, especially since Victoria just showed up anyway. What is on your mind this morning, guys? It's actually pretty cool. And since you guys aren't typing anything yet, I'll tell you a little bit more about that hotel, the Stanley Hotel. When I went on the tour, the most fascinating thing to me, and if you guys can do it, I would highly recommend it. It's tricky, but because the tour is with a group, you're with like 30 people. But if you can get a picture of some of those mirrors in the hotel, they have been there for like forever. And if you can get a picture of one of those mirrors without anybody modern actually showing up in the mirror, a lot of times you can get pictures of past events that have happened in the hotel. I got one picture like that, and it looked like it was from the time of like Teddy Roosevelt or something. It was just amazing. And you can't see those images with the human eye, but they show up in the camera, I guess, pretty commonly from what I understand. All right, Livia. So here's the deal, Dano. What I would say, I've read one of her books and she has great wisdom, lots of good information to pass on. So what I would say, Dano, is set your intention and start manifesting. Start the best way that you can manifest something like that if you're not sure if you have the money. It's not so much imagining the money coming in, because that can trip you up because the money's not here yet. But start imagining what it would be like to have that time, spent with her, and start imagining, what all kinds of things that you could get out of that as benefits and how much you would enjoy it, and start just really picturing how it's going to go in your mind. And then what happens if you can really focus on that, then what happens is the money just flows in for it. Oh, well, we talk about everything here, Victoria. We can talk about apple pie recipes if you want. Usually I tell people if you want to know things about how to develop your own abilities, if you want to know about, if you're curious about me, I don't mind answering questions here as long as they're not too totally personal. If you have things that you would like me to read on that are pretty simple things that I'm not going to have to spread out like 15 cards to be looking at the different layers of the answer, you know, you can ask those kinds of questions here. Yeah, it's definitely crazy in a good way. Oh, so I mean, you've got so much to imagine going well, Dano. All you got to do is just start imagining how wonderful that trip is going to be. Keep it flowing. I highly recommend. We know our apple pie, that's for sure. I highly recommend, if you are not familiar with this material already, I would highly recommend going here on YouTube and look up Abraham Hicks. They have, I don't know how many videos out, probably thousands of videos out, and you can learn so much about law of attraction, and you can really fine tune your process by listening to Abraham Hicks. I bet you there's not a day that goes by that I don't listen to Abraham Hicks. Starting your own business. Advice for KM on starting the own business. Okay, I actually want to pull some cards on this. Which deck wants to help her? Couple of decks. This one wants to help her the most. Okay. KM advice on getting her business up and running successfully. Wow, one card flew right out, which normally does not happen with me. So that just means this is an emphatic part of the message. We'll look at two more cards on top of that one. Let's take a peek. All right. Well, I don't think you're going to like what I have to say, honey, but here goes. Right now, this is probably not the best time for you to be starting a business. And the reason that I say that is because I'm using my, what is this deck? My Wildwood Tarot here. But what came up is your Five of Bows in reverse. Now I'm going to hold it up for you right side up so you can kind of get a better grip on what it's all about. You can see, if you can read that word, I don't know if you can or not, you can see that this talks about empowerment. But when it's in the reverse, it's saying that, you know, you don't have enough power to pull this off just yet. I remember reading years ago that when somebody starts their own business, you better be able to plan on being able to support that business for like 8 years before it can support itself. And that's being brought to my mind right now that, you know, this business is going to take you supporting it for a while before it gets off the ground, and you're not ready to really pull that off yet. So you want to get yourself in a position where you really can support it for a while until it's reasonable to think that it's going to be able to support itself. The next thing that I have coming up for you is the Guardian, which to me talks about facing fears. You have some fears and some blockages around starting this business, whether you realize it or not, and that may be what's contributing to this disempowerment. Okay, so you're going to have to work through those fears and those blockages before this business is going to be successful. So right now is not the time to open the door. Right now is the time to really be doing some inner work on releasing those fears and blockages. And this last card, the Six of Arrows, coming up in reverse, talks about moving away from this for now, coming back to it later on after you've accomplished this facing of the fears and working through the resistance and getting rid of it. So I hope that's not too late for you to receive that advice and that you're not like too far down the road with that. But that is what we have. And for that, for getting rid of that resistance, what I would recommend is, of course, Reiki. You guys know I think Reiki helps everything. Reiki would absolutely go in and get rid of some of those blockages. Might take a little time, might take more than one session, but if you want to really be successful with this, you're going to have to get rid of those blockages. So I would highly recommend it. Victoria Hayes Dino. Maybe his feelings changed. Yeah, right. I tried to warn you. They are very up and down. But hey, at least you hit it the right time. And actually, by the way, Dano, I would not be surprised. I still think he's going to text you back. I know he didn't make it in the time frame I gave you before, but I would not call that gone. I don't feel like that's a done deal. Been feeling blocked lately. Okay, so read for myself and others, but I've been feeling blocked lately. Any tips for clearing energy when you're feeling unmotivated or like the messages are coming from you versus spirit? Well, you and I both know, Victoria, that's bad news when they're coming from you versus spirit because you're not being as helpful to your clients as you could be or your friends, whoever you read for. Shut it down. When you feel like those messages are not coming from spirit, they're just coming from you, shut down the reading. All right. Then the next thing that I would say is part of feeling unmotivated is it's easy to see how that can happen. Sometimes people will get readings and they really want to know how to improve their lives, and then they don't follow any of your advice, and then they're coming back for a reading again in a week or two. How come nothing's happened? Well, did you do any of the advice that Spirit gave you? No. It's terribly unmotivating. It's like, why am I doing this? So I don't know if that's what you've got going on, but if that's what you've got going on, then what you really have to start doing is you have to start charging more for your readings. Because what you have right now, if that's your case, what you have right now is people that are like not taking the messages that come through from Spirit very seriously. And that's a problem. And that's a problem because you're expending energy to bring those messages through, and you know that's not easy. It looks easy to the other people, but you know it's not. And not only are you having to meet Spirit's energy level, they're having to come down to meet your level to get those messages through to you. So there's a lot of energy going into getting these messages to these people, and then they're just like totally disregarding them and thinking that the world is going to change if they hit the easy button. And they think talking to you is hitting the easy button. Wrong. Wrong, wrong. So you got to start making these people pay for their readings because right now they're not valuing them. And when people actually have to pay for their readings and you give them advice that comes through from Spirit, guess what they do? They pay attention and they at least try to follow it. And if you have people that are pulling that baloney on you, you're not charging enough, honey. You got to start charging them out the yin yang. Like, not to be mean, but that's how this works. If you don't assign a value and a decent value to what you do, other people won't take it seriously either. And what you offer when you offer readings is incredible, incredible service to people. When people come to you for a reading, they're asking you the big questions in life. They are going to take the information that you give them. If they're taking it seriously, they're going to take the information that you give them, and what you say is going to impact their decisions and what happens in their lives moving forward. So first of all, because what we're giving is such a big deal, number one, we have to be on the game. That's why if messages are coming through from you and not Spirit, shut it down because you're not going to be helpful to them. You're going to do a disservice to yourself and you're going to ruin your own reputation. These people need to hear from Spirit. They don't need to know what we think. Number two, you got to be on your game because these people need what we do. They're making big decisions based on what we tell them, on what we tell them. So I used to pray when I was new because I'm more expensive than most people. I used to pray when I was new, Lord, please bring to me people that need what I have. And then help me to help them in the biggest way possible. And bring me clients who are ready, willing, able, and thrilled to pay the fees that I charge because they know they're getting every penny's worth plus at least 4 times more every time they contact me. Because when we do something, this is not like being somebody's secretary. This is huge. And the service that we offer is huge. And it's worth the money that we charge. It wouldn't even matter what price tag we put on a reading. If we were charging $15,000 for an hour, it would be worth it. Now, obviously, people can't afford that, but you have to put enough value on it that people are going to value it because it's sacred. Okay, so let me get off my soapbox. Your cards like to fly for you? Fives mean change, Dano. Thank you, little ODD. Okay, guys, so I have totally gone way over time here by like 15 minutes. But, you know, once I get on my soapbox, thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do so much appreciate it. You guys keep me on my toes. You keep me awake, keep me alive, keep me happy. And you guys know me. I don't like to be bored. I like to be happy with what I do. So this makes this so much fun for me. Everybody, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I will see you guys the next time, probably tomorrow.